things up a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and hit the delve up a little bit. So you can see here we're in our mine encampment. Easiest way to travel through those, just waypoints after you meet Nico in the game. And we can go ahead and talk to Nico. I don't think I've actually done any missions for him yet. So yeah, he tells us to go ahead and create a couple of flares and some dynamite. So we've only got 54 azurite right now. That's fine. This is relatively cheap. Dynamite's a little more expensive. Now, something I've had a lot of people ask about when it comes to the delve in general is how to actually equip your dynamite and your flares. So it works the same exact way as it would if you were equipping a skill. So if you hit R3, so the right stick in, you actually go ahead and just select these, just like you would with anything else. Oh hey, what's up, Sosa? Oh nice, how's the cyclone going for you? So actually, I'm gonna switch this up a little bit, just because I want to be able to summon my lightning golem. But now as you can see, like, I can use X, or hold the right trigger and use X to throw a flay, or use square to throw dynamite. So that will be useful. I have done a little bit of delve, not a whole lot. As you can see, I'm only to depth 27. So monster level is going to be 53. We're level 80, so we're basically going to destroy everything that's here. Made to X6. Yeah, I feel you. The axe can they can wear down on you a little bit. Sometimes you got to take a little bit of a break when making a new character. So we're gonna travel here, and then we'll just kind of push through the delve and just try and get a little deeper until we run out of azurite. Tonight's stream I'm gonna cut a little bit short, just because the last few have run kind of long, which is fine. But tonight, it's Friday night. And there's actually a few interesting things going on with games in general right now. Obviously, Path of Exile is my main game, but I do like to play a little bit of Apex Legends. Season 2 of Apex is out, which has been quite a bit of fun so far. I think their Season 2 pass is way better than Season 1 was. Super Mario Maker came out last week, which has been a lot of fun also. Another game that has a lot of fun stuff going on right now is actually Crash Team Racing. They're starting their first Grand Prix, just kind of like their equivalent to like a battle pass. Yeah, I made my Cyclone build before I realized like everyone was gonna make a Cyclone build, but I mean I'm still having fun with this. Biggest difference between this game and Diablo is probably the fact that this game is a lot more complicated when it comes to builds. Diablo, it's super easy to switch between like your skills. You don't really assign any stat points until you actually get to your Paragon levels. Where in this game there's a giant passive tree, where if you spread your points out between too many different stats, it can kind of make your build not usable. So it takes a lot more planning. Stats are a lot more important. You assign skill gems for your different skills as opposed to just kind of picking them from a chart like you do in Diablo. And like this is comparing it to Diablo 3. Like in comparison to Diablo 2, I'd say it's more comparable to Diablo 2, just because Diablo 2 is a bit more complicated with builds. Yeah, that's a pretty fair assessment. Loot. Truthfully, I'm not going to be really picking up a whole lot of loot here. Let's see. Honestly, I'm not even going to pick up the chromatics just because it just kind of seems like a waste. Just going to make my way down. Yeah, man, no worries. Yeah, so it's good to, like, create your own stuff anyways. Like, I like my build, but, you know, I think builds are a lot more based on playstyle than anything else. Like, as long as you synergize your skills and, you know, your different gems, well, your gems and your passive tree and everything else, like, you know, you can make a viable build with, you know, just about anything. It's difficult to explain because, like, you know, it is one of those games that's unforgiving if you spread out your stats too much. But at the same time, like, if you know what you're doing, almost any skill gem is usable. Yeah, there's a lot of really good physical damage items, a lot of really good defensive items. I actually didn't do too bad with, hey, what's up, Armed? I did pretty good with keeping this build on a budget. I've only got, want to say I got 2 uniques running on this character, and the rest are all rares, most of which that I crafted. Gotten a couple of nice donations, like the ring I'm using. But I mean, for the most part, like, the stuff that I have is stuff that anyone could get. What's up, Soho? And that's kind of how I like to run my builds. You know, it's cool to, like, look online and see, like, what unique items people are using for, like, builds that are similar to yours. But for the most part, I usually think of, like, the items I'm going to use last. That's the thing too, like, you gotta try stuff out to see if you're actually gonna like it. I mean, if you don't, yeah, if you're not having fun with your build, what's the point? Like, your build's what makes this game special. Because, I mean, when you think about it, like, you're always running the same content, but, you know, you're running different, well, at least I would hope, for the most part, that people are running, you know, different builds every single league, trying out new things. That's what makes the game feel fresh. That's what keeps you from, you know, getting burned out or just not having fun with the game anymore. No, that's alright. I mean, over time, Exalts will come and go. Nice. Dude, we got 2 crafting recipes right in a row. That's the thing too, like, I feel like, oh yikes, what happened there? I wasn't paying attention to the modifiers that were put on me. That could have been anything. Actually, just get rid of that overhead map. The overhead map just kind of gets in the way in Delve. It's just a habit for me to run it, but it really screws up your visibility. When in all reality, all you have to do is actually, you know, well, at least right now, for what I'm doing, you just have to follow the cart. But I mean, if you want to go and venture off in the Delve and actually find, like, some of the good loot that's just hiding along the sides, that's when an overhead map might actually come kind of more in handy. Yeah, I think I was just on the outskirt of the light. Yeah, I think I was just too far outside and the darkness killed me. Because these enemies shouldn't really be putting any modifiers on me. Other than maybe, like, chill. Yeah, and they don't do that much damage. So yeah, that was my own fault. Get some more azurite. I'm not going to do too much traveling off to the sides. We might a little later, just so I can kind of give examples of it. But for now, we're just going to rush through and try and push to some later depths. I like running Delve on occasion, just because it's a nice break from mapping. It kind of has its own pace to it. It feels quicker just because you're traveling from, you know, point to point as opposed to running an entire map. Next league, I mean, I personally am probably gonna play a just some sort of bow and arrow skill. I haven't decided which one yet. Just because, you know, I haven't. That's like the one build I haven't touched yet. But I honestly would probably just base it off of what they end up doing with the league mechanics next league, which I have no idea. None of us will know until it's much closer. Usually a week or two out from next league, we'll finally, you know, get an idea of exactly what it's going to be. And I would honestly base it off the mechanics of the league. One of the biggest reasons why Cyclone ended up being so popular with this league was, one, because of the fact that, you know, there was the big melee update, and two, because of the fact that, you know, area damage is so important for what the actual league mechanics are. So people kind of put, you know, 2 and 2 together and realize, like, you know, hey, Cyclone will probably be pretty nasty this league. So a bunch of people went with it. Which is fine. Like, I typically like using something that's a little more out there. Like, this is probably, like, well, I used Winter Orb at the end of last league. I used it for the flashback event. But for a good majority of the league, I used Volatile Dead, which... if no one's tried Volatile Dead, I would highly recommend that build. It's a lot of fun. Just make sure you couple it with Desecrate. Hey, what's up, Mike? But Volatile Dead's a super fun ranged skill. I need to get a bigger light radius. I'm kind of getting punished with the small light radius in my cart right now. It's all based off of the passive tree and different support gems that they can use to get their Cyclone a lot bigger. I opted for more straight damage. I can also go into sand mode, which you can see from there. It increased the radius a little bit. Here, once we get to the next group of enemies, I can kind of... Oh, I should have picked up all my azurite. That's fine. Stuff's everywhere. Like, you can see the radius goes up by quite a bit, so if I go back into blood, it's quite a bit smaller. So that's another way. the default light radius seems a lot smaller than it used to. Maybe it's just me because I haven't played like a fresh delve in a while. Yeah, we really can't afford to get too far away from that. Mainly because the only way I can regen life, too, is by actually leeching. Hey, what's up, Fearless? That's weird. Just out of curiosity, do a lot of you guys watch like directly through YouTube or through live from PlayStation? It's like when I came back to YouTube, I started using the live from PlayStation streaming option again. Although, the black bar kind of drives me nuts. So I might actually just go back to, yeah, if like everyone's viewing on YouTube, I might go back to the old format of streaming through my capture card. Just because I like the way it looks a lot better. I like the little notifications that pop up when I stream through my capture card, like if someone subs or anything like that. Oh, nice. Well, welcome to the stream, dude. Lately, I've been doing a lot of like community streams. Tonight, though, since I'm kind of trying to keep it as a shorter stream, I basically just wanted to pop online for a little while, chat with everyone for a bit, and basically do some delve just to change things up a little bit. I don't necessarily just want to run maps every single stream. Go for it. Shoot. First thing I'm gonna do when we get back onto the surface is probably upgrade my light radius. It's kind of bad. Ooh, it dipped on me. It dipped when I thought it would dodge. Hey, what's up, Tanner? It was good. Well, what are you using with your tornado shot? Are you doing any sort of elemental damage, or are you straight physical damage? Because I personally, usually my jewels I'll use like for offensive skills. That's just my preference. But if that were the case, I would probably try and load up on a lot more physical damage. And there's plenty of different jewels that you can, get a high amount of physical damage on. They don't necessarily have to be uniques either. I know most people will use unique jewels on their builds. I honestly don't actively search out jewels for my build just because it's usually one of the last things I end up assigning on my skill tree. Admittedly, I'm not super familiar with ranger builds just because I haven't done one yet. But I personally would just probably use some jewels that stack a lot more physical damage. I don't know a ton about Tornado Shot, but I'm assuming it scales with attack speed, and if that's the case, I would try and find something with some more attack speed too. I'm sure there's some decent, like, physical attack, unique jewel. I don't know any off the top of my head. Items are the one thing that, usually when I'm searching for items, I'll usually go on, one of the Path of Exile databases online, just like on my phone. Items are the one thing I have trouble keeping track of, just because there's so many of them. Which is something I would highly recommend, just in general, like finding one of the database sites that you're comfortable with. Just so that way you can look up different, like jewels, gems, you know, weapons, armor, just stuff that you're not completely familiar with on the fly. That would be another one to stack, would be projectile damage for anything ranged. And just avoid the obvious ones like spell damage, elemental damage, since you're just doing physical. Upgrade your light at the generator. Probably should. Gotta find any good weapons here or armor. Let's see, what level is it spawning at right now? 57? Yeah. Yeah, my 4th, we didn't even let off fireworks or anything. Just because my kid's still pretty young. So we just took him down to the public pool because it was super warm. It was really nice outside. We just kind of goofed off in the pool for a majority of the afternoon. And then he spent a little time with his grandma while we went out shopping for his birthday presents. Yeah, we can probably do that soon within the next few streams, to be honest. I'm getting close on some of the splinters, but with my playtime being so limited, I don't quite have enough yet. Ooh, 6 socket. Oh, that sucks. So we found, my wife got him, like, some clothes and stuff, just because, you know, obviously she likes dressing him up in little outfits. I got him, like, this, it's like a little fake gaming controller. Crap. Like, there's one setting where, like, teaches him the alphabet and stuff, and then another where it just makes, like, little game noises. He's always after, like, my PS4 controller and stuff and pulling on the cord and everything. I think he really likes the blue light that comes out of the end of the controller too. So I figured get him as shoot. See, that's what I mean in the darkness. I gotta upgrade.
The depths you're exploring.
But yeah, he loves gaming controllers, so I figured get him something like that and he'd have fun with it. And then we got him like a little electronic drum set too, because he has like this regular straight up drum that he likes. He's like really good with the drumsticks. I'm amazed because like the kid's only like a year old. Well, he's gonna be a year old, and like he's coordinated enough to actually like hit the drum with the drumsticks. So we got him like this electronic little set that comes with a set of drumsticks too, so he doesn't have to just use like the normal one. Because my worry is like he also likes to prop himself up, so he'll, like prop himself up on the regular drum, and I'm afraid he's gonna break through it one day. Hey, what's up, High Res? So yeah, it's stuff I think he'll like. Yeah, it's funny because like he's only gonna be a year old, but like there's so much stuff he's already into that like I'm into. Like he really likes music. Like I say, he likes playing with my game controller, so that's why I got him the controller. He loves Pokemon. It's like insane. I didn't know a kid his age could be that into Pokemon. Like I put it on the TV, like he's just hypnotized. He loves him some Pikachu. What happened to the... Oh, that was weird. Like, the light radius went out completely. So, yeah, I think he'll have a good birthday. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's crazy because, like... You know, when I was younger, like, I used to get excited about stuff for, like, my own birthday. But, like, now that I'm an adult and, like, you know, I have a kid of my own and I, you know, pretty much buy my own games, I'm much more excited for, like, his birthday and events for him than I am for me. Like, if I want something, like, I'm just gonna straight up buy it for myself. Yeah, so there'll be areas on the Atlas where you'll, for Elder, or no, for Shaper, you'll actually see like, I don't know how to describe it, it'll look kind of like a galaxy over those maps, and those will actually be like the different Shaper portions of the map, and Elder will have like these weird tentacle looking things. So basically you just have to run the right maps that they're actually at. Until, like, you keep pushing forward, getting to their strongholds. So it's basically the same thing with, like, running into the masters on the map. I just realized I have to, since I died in the darkness, I have to actually reassign all this stuff. Kinda sucks. Vulnerability, and I'll have to... Where is... There we go, Enfeeble. Kind of inconvenient, but whatever. Yeah, upgrading my light radius made this a lot easier. In all reality, I should probably go back and collect some more azurite from like the earlier areas just so I can go through and grab some of the earlier upgrades, but a decent little unique here. Yeah, he'll do the same thing that like the masters do. So I mean, after you like defeat him in that area, like he'll move. So you kind of have to it's hard to describe. I mean, you basically have to have multiple maps. You won't really grind the same map over and over again. You'll have to basically pay attention to how the Atlas ends up being influenced and just follow him through. Do I technically have to run this before I go here? That's weird because it doesn't seem like those would be connected because it's kind of off center. Whatever. Yeah, defeating a Shaper in an Elder map, it'll change their area of influence, and then you have to just kind of go back into the Atlas and follow it again. Yeah, I know there's ways to alter their influence. I need to do a bit more research on it, just because I've never done a lot of Elder and Shaper grinding. I've just kind of run the maps that they've been at and done it that way. But in this league, since I, reached mapping at a relatively decent time, and I don't plan on building a second character, it'll give me plenty of time to actually play around with that. Didn't want to pick that up. I've always just kind of mapped casually. Yeah, I've never really tried to influence the Atlas, but it's something I should look into, because it's something I should be doing. I just saw the 8 at first, and I was like, oh, 8 Chaos, that's not bad. And then I saw the 0 after, because it spaced out super weird. I'm like, oh, 80 Chaos. Yeah, that unique sword would not only be profitable for me, but it'd be really good for my build in general. Yeah, I haven't actually done a lot of purchasing with this character yet. The sword I'm using, I got at a super, super reasonable price. I actually only had to pay 5 orbs of fusing. I didn't even have to spend a chaos. I mean, 5 orbs of fusing is about the equivalent to just over 1 chaos. Oh, speaking of chaos, I'm just gonna start saying chaos a bunch if that's just gonna make the chaos orbs drop. But yeah, so I'm using Kondo's Pride, and someone sold this to me for 5 fusing orbs, which was super nice. It really boosts up my physical damage a lot. And then these boots, the Windscream Greaves, I want to say I spent like 3 or 4 chaos on these. And other than that, like, I might have spent like 2 chaos on this helmet. Yeah, I haven't been lucky enough to get an Exile to drop this league yet. My first community stream, I think 2 or 3 people who were playing with me got exalted drops. Lastly, I got an exalted to drop from literally flipping over a boulder. It was the most insane thing ever. Made me wonder just how many exalted orbs are just hiding underneath boulders. They do a great job of making them rare drops, that's for sure. I feel like it's a fair rare drop. It's not like, you know, you might not even see one throughout the league. Like, if you play enough, you'll get one to drop. Unlike mirrors, which you might, you know, play this game for years and not get a mirror to drop. It's kind of insane. Which, if you ever get a mirror, don't trade it for anything on the trade market. Just, I think most people know that at this point, but just in case anyone doesn't, like, if you get a mirror, you should probably pop on the forums and try and get a bunch of really good items for that. Because it's literally the most valuable and rare item in the game. And in this game, like, being the most valuable and rare item in the game means something. Streamed on Twitch for a little while. Just, I don't have the Twitch following that I have through YouTube. Belt sounds super familiar, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. The way that I always look up my items, just because, like, I can honestly never remember, the value of individual items, is I use PoE.Ninja. It shows PC values, but it'll show what, like, things have sold for on PC. And then, unfortunately, because of the inflation of the PS4 market, I figure that basically, you know, 3 times as much as what it's selling for on PC is probably about a reasonable amount on PS4. That would be why it sounds familiar. Yeah, that's one thing, unfortunately, you're not going to learn a lot from me about, is the individual items in the game. There's just far too much for me to keep track of when it comes to that. Game mechanics are one thing, but like the hundreds of uniques this game has, that's a whole nother ball game. Yeah, rightfully so. Anything that's going to be valuable is going to have a ridiculously low drop rate. I mean, that's kind of what drives down the price of the Tabula Rasa, is just the fact that the div cards are so easy to grind. That's insane. Less than a 1% drop rate. I'll have to check. I actually haven't even, like, looked at the challenges yet this league. I don't have that kind of patience either. That's why I can't grind Hillock in the beginning of the game. That would drive me nuts. Oh, the Chaos Orb. Ah, that's crazy. Someone sold it for that low. Oh, that's right. We're gonna look at challenges. I've only done 5 so far. Looks like I have a few more on the way, though. My gear's super affordable. Like off the top of my head, I've probably invested less than 10 chaos into everything I'm using. I've been lucky enough to find some stuff for pretty low prices, but I mean, that's why I don't have very extensive knowledge when it comes to unique items, because to be honest with you, I avoid them. I kind of play my builds more so based off of rare items and my actual passive skill tree, and then I try and supplement with affordable uniques afterwards. Doesn't necessarily, you know, that playstyle doesn't exactly work for everyone. Just because, you know, some people want to min-max, which is understandable. Like, I would want to min-max too. I just know it's not always realistic with some of the different items that you need for builds. I'm actually gonna run out of sulfite here soon. Which might be all for the best. Because it looks like little dude might be awake. Yeah, it looks like little man's awake. So I wasn't trying to really stream for this short of amount of time, but duty calls, as you can probably hear. So yeah, I'm gonna have to pop off for the night. But I hope everyone has a great weekend. I will definitely try to be online on Monday, and yeah, we can kind of continue on. I'll probably grind a little bit more delve over the weekend, but we'll probably head back to mapping on Monday, do another community play, and hopefully run some Legion content also. So thanks again for stopping in. It was great talking with you guys. Kind of what I wanted to do tonight, just chill for a little while, get a chance to chat with everyone. I was hoping to be online for a little longer, but little dude woke up from his sleep, so I gotta go put him back down. So y'all have a great night, have a great weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. So until next time, may the RNG be with you. Always.